Imagine the quietest night, under a sky full of stars, where peace truly descends. Join us on a tender journey with Mary, through the silent whispers of Bethlehem, to the most gentle moment in history. This isn't just a story. It's an invitation to profound calm, designed to soothe your spirit and guide you to restful sleep. Welcome, dear friends. I am so glad you are here right now. Before we begin, take a gentle moment to settle in. Wherever you are listening from tonight, you are warmly welcomed. You might be resting in your bedroom, lying beneath a quiet ceiling, or perhaps listening from a living room where the lights are low and the world has slowed down. If you would like, you can share in the comments where you are listening from and what time it is where you are. It is always comforting to know that people from many places are listening together in peaceful stillness. If this kind of gentle storytelling brings you comfort, you are kindly invited to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need calm and rest. You can also explore the full playlist linked in the description below, where many soothing stories are waiting for you. Now allow your breathing to soften. Let the events of the day begin to loosen their hold. You do not need to solve anything or remember anything else. This time is set apart for rest, reflection, and quiet peace. Welcome, weary hearts, to a journey back in time, to a night filled with profound peace. Imagine the world long ago, before electric lights and constant noise, when night arrived slowly and gently. Darkness did not rush in, but unfolded like a soft cloth across the land. Stars emerged one by one, steady and faithful in the wide sky. The air was cooler then, carrying the scent of earth and stone, of distant fires settling into embers. This was a world where silence was familiar and comforting, where people understood the rhythm of day and night as a gift. Picture yourself standing beneath that ancient sky. There is no hurry here. No demands pull at your thoughts. You are invited simply to be present. Somewhere nearby, a single lantern flickers. Its flame dances quietly, casting warm light that does not overwhelm the darkness but gently rests within it. Shadows move slowly along the walls, soft and calm, as if even they are at peace. Let the anxieties of your day melt away as we recount a story of quiet strength and divine protection. This story does not begin with loud voices or sudden wonders. It begins in stillness. It begins with trust. It begins with hearts that listen rather than demand, with souls that move forward one gentle step at a time. In this opening serenity, nothing needs to be forced. Everything arrives at its proper moment. Feel the night settle around you like a blanket. The world seems to hold its breath, not in fear, but in anticipation of something holy and tender. The sky stretches wide and deep, and the stars seem closer than usual, as if they are leaning in to watch over the earth below. In this calm, allow your thoughts to slow. If worries surface, imagine them drifting like clouds across the sky, passing without resistance. They do not need your attention right now. You are safe in this moment. You are guided into a story shaped by gentleness and grace. The land itself feels quiet and receptive. Hills rest beneath the stars, their outlines softened by moonlight. Paths wind through fields and villages, worn smooth by countless travelers over generations. These paths have carried joy and sorrow, hope and hardship, Yet tonight they feel especially calm, as though they know something sacred is unfolding. Somewhere in this landscape, a young woman pauses in thought. Mary is not surrounded by noise or attention. She is quiet, reflective, and deeply present. Her heart holds many thoughts, yet she does not rush through them. She carries within her a sense of purpose that is not loud but steady, not anxious but trusting. In the stillness of the night, her faith feels like a gentle flame, small yet unshakable. This opening serenity invites us to sit beside her in that quiet, not to question or analyze, but to rest in the simple awareness that something meaningful is underway. Mary does not know every detail of what lies ahead, yet she moves forward with grace. Her strength is not forceful. It is patient. It is rooted in trust. The world around her seems to respond to that calm. The night air feels softer. Even the distant sounds of animals or footsteps seem muted, as if respecting the sacred quiet. This is a peace that does not come from everything being easy, but from knowing that one is held within a greater care. Joseph, too, carries his own quiet resolve. His presence is steady and protective, not demanding attention. He listens more than he speaks. His faith shows itself in action rather than words. Together, they move within this serene night, accompanied by something unseen yet deeply felt. Divine protection does not announce itself with noise. It rests gently over them like a covering, unnoticed by the world but fully real. In this opening moment of the story, nothing dramatic interrupts the calm. Instead, peace deepens, layer by layer, breath by breath. You may notice how your own breathing begins to mirror this rhythm. Slow, even, unhurried. There is no need to rush forward in the story. This opening serenity is meant to be savored, like the first moments of rest after a long day. The stars continue their quiet watch. They have seen countless nights like this, and yet none quite the same. There is something tender unfolding, something that will ripple outward through time, though for now it remains wrapped in silence. As you rest within this opening chapter, allow yourself to feel included in this peace. This story is not distant or unreachable. It meets you exactly where you are. The same calm that settled over that ancient night is available now, settling gently over your thoughts, your body, your heart. Nothing is required of you except presence. No effort is needed. Simply remain here in this opening serenity, where the night is kind, the air is gentle, and the story begins not with noise, but with peace. The path stretches onward beneath the quiet sky, and the journey itself now takes gentle focus. Movement continues without strain, each moment flowing naturally into the next. In this calm progression, attention turns inward, settling softly on Mary as she travels forward in thoughtful silence. Imagine Mary, young and full of grace, embarking on a humble journey, guided by faith. She does not rush her thoughts. They arrive slowly, like leaves drifting onto still water, each one acknowledged and then allowed to rest. Her heart is steady, not because everything is easy, but because she trusts the care that surrounds her. Faith for her is not a sudden feeling, but a deep knowing that unfolds quietly within. Mary's gaze often rests ahead, not searching anxiously, but simply observing. She notices the way moonlight touches the land, the way shadows soften rather than threaten. Each detail seems meaningful without demanding interpretation. She allows herself to be present within the moment as it is. Her youth is not marked by uncertainty here, but by openness. There is a gentle strength in her posture, a calm acceptance that shapes the way she carries herself. Grace moves through her naturally, not as something practiced, but as something lived. It is evident in the way she breathes, the way she listens, the way she remains composed even as the journey continues. The humble nature of this journey does not diminish its importance. Instead, it defines it. There are no grand processions or displays of power. There is only quiet movement through familiar land, guided by obedience and trust. Mary does not need recognition or comfort beyond what is already given. She accepts simplicity without resistance. Her thoughts turn inward again, not with fear, but with reflection. She considers the words spoken to her, words that changed everything, yet did so gently. They were not forced upon her. They were offered. Her response was not loud or dramatic. It was faithful. It was willing. As she rides, the slow rhythm supports her contemplation. Each gentle sway allows her mind to remain calm and unhurried. The steady pace gives her space to feel supported rather than strained. Time does not press upon her. It moves alongside her. She reflects on her place within this unfolding story, not as one seeking control, but as one who trusts guidance. There is humility in this acceptance, a willingness to move forward without demanding certainty. Faith does not require her to see the entire path. It asks only that she take the next step with trust. The night remains quiet, respectful of her contemplation. Sounds are softened, distant, unobtrusive. Even the natural world seems to move with care, as if aware that something sacred is being carried forward. The air feels calm against her skin, neither cold nor heavy. Mary's hands rest gently, her posture relaxed. There is no tension in her body. Though the journey requires endurance, she is sustained by peace rather than effort. This peace does not come from rest alone, but from alignment. She is moving where she is meant to go. Her faith does not shield her from discomfort, but it transforms it. Each moment of weariness is met with patience rather than complaint. She understands that the journey itself is part of the purpose. Nothing here is wasted. Nothing is rushed. She thinks briefly of home, not with longing, but with gratitude. She carries with her the teachings, the prayers, the quiet strength passed down through generations. These do not weigh her down. They steady her. They remind her that she is part of something larger than herself. Joseph's presence nearby offers reassurance without intrusion. He does not interrupt her reflection. He respects her silence, understanding that contemplation is its own form of prayer. Together, they share an unspoken understanding, a shared trust that binds them more strongly than words. Mary's faith is active even in stillness. It shapes the way she sees the road ahead, the way she interprets each moment. She does not search for signs or confirmations. She trusts what has already been placed within her heart. The journey unfolds mile by mile, yet distance feels secondary. What matters more is the inner movement taking place. Mary grows not through sudden realization, but through quiet perseverance. Each step forward affirms her trust. She feels the weight she carries, but it does not overwhelm her. It is held within peace. There is no fear attached to it, only reverence, only awe that remains gentle and contained. The stars continue their watch, unchanged yet deeply present. Mary does not need to read them for direction. She feels guided from within. Faith for her is not external validation. It is internal alignment. As she contemplates, she remains grounded. Her thoughts do not wander into worry. They stay anchored in trust. She understands that she is being led, not driven. That distinction allows her to remain calm. The humility of this journey reflects the nature of what is to come. Nothing here demands attention. Everything here invites reflection. Mary embodies this invitation through her quiet acceptance. Her breathing remains slow and steady. Each breath connects her more deeply to the present moment. She does not anticipate the future with anxiety. She allows it to arrive in its own time. In this continued movement, Mary's contemplation becomes a quiet testimony. Strength does not always announce itself. Often it moves silently, guided by faith rather than force. The road remains open before her, illuminated softly by moonlight and trust. The journey continues, shaped by humility, sustained by grace, and carried forward through faith that does not falter, even in silence. The movement of the journey becomes more noticeable now, not as effort, but as rhythm. Everything settles into a gentle pattern that carries them forward without strain. The road does not demand attention. It simply receives each step and offers the next. Feel the soft sway of the donkey, the hushed whispers of the wind, as they move towards Bethlehem. The motion is slow and reassuring. With each step, there is a quiet rise and fall, a natural cadence that invites the body to relax into it. The sway is not unsteady. It is careful and familiar, shaped by long paths and patient travel. It cradles rather than jostles, allowing Mary to remain calm and supported. This rhythm creates a sense of continuity. One moment flows into the next without interruption. There is no need to measure distance or time. Progress happens gently, almost without notice. The body adjusts, breathing falls into harmony with movement, and thought drifts into a peaceful, reflective state. The donkey's pace is unhurried, guided by instinct and familiarity. It knows how to move through the night, how to place each step securely upon the earth. There is trust in this movement, trust that the path will continue to unfold beneath steady hooves. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. Around them, the wind speaks softly. It does not rush past or stir uneasily. It moves in quiet whispers, brushing against skin and fabric, carrying the faint sense of the land. This wind has travelled far, touching hills, valleys, and open fields. Now it passes gently alongside them, as if accompanying rather than disturbing. The sound of the wind is barely there, more felt than heard. It moves through grasses and low branches with a muted presence, adding to the calm rather than breaking it. Each whisper seems to say that all is well, that the night is safe, that the journey is protected. The road curves gently, never sharply. It seems to cooperate with their movement, offering a smooth passage forward. Stones are worn flat by countless travelers before them. Dust rests quietly, undisturbed by haste. The earth feels steady and dependable beneath each step. Mary's body responds to this rhythm with ease. The gentle sway allows her muscles to soften. There is no tension in her shoulders, no strain in her posture. She is carried forward in a way that feels natural, almost comforting. The journey supports her rather than demanding endurance. Joseph walks alongside, matching the pace without effort. His steps fall in time with the movement beside him. He listens to the sounds of travel, the subtle cues of the road and the animal, adjusting instinctively. There is harmony in their movement, an unspoken coordination shaped by shared purpose. The night remains calm, unchanging in its kindness. Moonlight spills softly across the path, illuminating just enough to guide without overwhelming. Shadows move slowly, stretching and shifting as they pass, never abrupt, never alarming. Everything seems to slow itself in their presence. The rhythm of travel creates space within the mind. Thoughts no longer compete for attention. They drift gently, like leaves carried by water. Awareness settles into the body, into the sensation of movement and breath. This steady motion becomes a kind of quiet song, repeated without variation. Even the stars seem to align with this rhythm, steady and constant overhead. They do not flicker or shift suddenly. They remain in their places, offering silent companionship. Their light does not rush downward. It rests calmly upon the land, just enough to be seen. The air grows slightly cooler as the journey continues, yet it remains comfortable. It refreshes rather than chills. Each breath feels clean and grounding, filling the lungs without effort. Breathing falls naturally into time with the sway and the steps. There is no urgency in reaching Bethlehem. The destination exists, yet it does not pull them forward with pressure. The journey itself holds value. Each moment of travel feels complete on its own, not merely a means to an end. The donkey's ears flick gently now and then, responding to quiet sounds of the night. Distant animals settle. Somewhere far away, a faint call echoes and then fades. These sounds do not intrude. They belong to the night as much as silence does. Mary remains attentive without strain. She feels the movement beneath her and allows it to carry her thoughts into calm reflection. There is a sense of being guided not only in direction, but in pace. Nothing suggests hurry. Everything suggests care. Joseph occasionally glances ahead, then returns his focus to the present moment. He trusts the rhythm that has established itself. His presence adds steadiness, not control. He moves with the journey rather than attempting to manage it. The road narrows slightly, then opens again, yet the rhythm remains unchanged. Each variation is absorbed smoothly. This consistency brings reassurance. Even when surroundings shift, the movement remains reliable. The wind continues its quiet accompaniment, sometimes closer, sometimes barely perceptible. It carries no warnings, no urgency, only presence, only calm. As they move closer to Bethlehem, the journey feels less like distance traveled and more like a deepening stillness carried forward. Motion and peace coexist without conflict. The gentle sway, the soft whispers of the wind, and the steady path beneath them continue to guide them onward in quiet harmony. Weariness begins to make itself known, not sharply, but gently, like a soft reminder of human limits. Muscles grow heavier, breaths deepen, and yet nothing feels burdensome. The fatigue does not bring distress. It settles quietly, acknowledged without resistance, woven into the calm of the night. Even in their weariness, a sense of quiet certainty surrounds them, a hidden hand guiding their path. This certainty is not spoken aloud. It does not demand recognition. It simply exists, steady and reassuring, like a presence that does not need to be seen to be trusted. It moves with them, not ahead as pressure, not behind as correction, but alongside, supporting each step. Mary feels the weight of travel now more clearly, yet she is not discouraged. Her body may tire, but her spirit remains anchored. There is an inner steadiness that does not fluctuate with physical strain. She rests within it, allowing certainty to hold her when energy wanes. Joseph senses it as well, though he does not name it. He feels it in the way obstacles fail to arise, in the absence of fear, in the calm unfolding of each moment. Though the road is long and the night deep, nothing feels uncertain. The path continues to open, quietly and reliably. This guidance does not remove hardship, but it softens it. The uneven ground does not trip them. The cool air does not chill them. Fatigue does not overwhelm them. Everything remains within manageable bounds, as if carefully measured by unseen care. The hidden hand does not alter the landscape, but it shapes their experience within it. Stones lie where they can be stepped around. The animal maintains its pace without faltering. The night remains clear. These small mercies gather, unnoticed at first, yet together they form a pattern of protection. Mary rests within this assurance, her thoughts untroubled. She does not question whether they will reach their destination. That concern does not arise. Instead, there is acceptance of the present moment, confidence that each step is sufficient. Faith supports her not by answering questions, but by quieting them. Joseph's vigilance relaxes slightly, though he remains attentive. He does not need to scan the darkness for threats. Nothing presses against the edges of his awareness. He trusts the calm he feels, allowing it to guide his actions. His strength is conserved, not depleted. The night seems to cooperate with this certainty. Sounds remain distant and gentle. The path continues without interruption. Even time feels softened, passing without urgency. Weariness deepens, yet peace deepens alongside it, balancing each other perfectly. This divine care does not announce itself through miracles or signs. It is found in continuity, in the fact that nothing breaks the calm, in the way fatigue does not turn into fear, in the way uncertainty does not take root. Mary adjusts her posture slightly, finding ease without effort. Her body responds naturally, guided by instinct and calm. She does not fight weariness. She allows it to exist, trusting that she is supported through it. Joseph matches the pace instinctively, ensuring that nothing strains. His actions are thoughtful but unforced. He does not feel alone in his responsibility. That hidden guidance shares the weight, lightening what could otherwise feel heavy. The certainty surrounding them feels like a quiet circle, enclosing them gently. It does not isolate them from the world, but it does set them apart in peace. Within this space, hardship loses its sharpness. Difficulty becomes manageable. Fatigue becomes simply another part of the journey. The air remains steady. Breathing continues deep and even. Each inhale brings reassurance. Each exhale releases tension. The body responds to this rhythm with acceptance rather than resistance. Mary's heart remains calm. She does not dwell on the discomfort of travel. Her awareness rests in trust. She knows she is not moving alone, even though nothing visible accompanies them. This knowledge does not excite her. It steadies her. Joseph senses that their steps are aligned with something greater than themselves. He does not need to understand how. The understanding is not intellectual. It is felt. It settles into his movements, his posture, his decisions. The weariness they carry does not signal danger. It signals humanity. And within that humanity, divine care rests gently, adapting to their limits, meeting them exactly where they are. The path continues to receive them without resistance. The night remains kind. The certainty does not fade. It remains constant, quiet, and sufficient, guiding them onward with a steadiness that asks for nothing and provides everything needed in this moment. The landscape begins to change in subtle ways. Shapes in the distance gather themselves into outlines of dwellings, low structures resting close together, touched by faint lamplight. The quiet certainty remains, even as signs of human presence grow nearer. The night does not lose its calm. It simply holds more detail now. Bethlehem receives them without ceremony. There is no announcement of arrival, no pause marked by significance. It is a small town accustomed to travelers, its streets narrow and worn, its buildings simple and practical. Life here continues even at night, though softened, muted by fatigue and darkness. Voices drift faintly from behind closed doors. Footsteps echo briefly and then fade. Lamps glow from windows already growing dim as households settle into rest. There is movement, but it is subdued, shaped by long days and limited space. They seek shelter where others have already gathered. Inns stand full, crowded by those who arrived earlier. The sounds within suggest closeness and weariness, bodies pressed together, air thick with breath and heat. There is no room left to offer, no space that could receive them without burden. The refusals are not harsh. They carry no cruelty. They are simply facts spoken with tired voices. Each door closes gently, not in rejection, but in limitation. Mary and Joseph accept this without protest. There is no frustration rising within them. The quiet certainty continues to hold. Joseph listens, nods, and moves on without complaint. He does not argue or insist. He understands the fullness of the town, the strain placed upon small spaces. He feels no sense of injustice, only patience. Mary remains calm, though her body feels the long hours of travel. She does not shrink beneath the weight of inconvenience. She remains steady, receptive, trusting that refuge will appear in its proper form. Her faith does not require comfort to remain intact. Beyond the clustered dwellings, something quieter waits. Away from the crowded rooms and narrow corridors, there is a space meant not for guests, but for animals. It is humble, practical, unnoticed by most, yet it rests quietly, undisturbed by the press of people. This stable does not announce itself as shelter. It simply exists. Walls rough and plain, a roof offering protection from the night air. The scent of hay and earth lingers, grounding and familiar. Animals shift gently within, accustomed to the rhythms of night. The contrast is clear. Where the inns are full and restless, this place is open and calm. There is room here, not because it was prepared, but because it was overlooked. In its simplicity, it offers what the others cannot. Joseph recognizes the suitability immediately, not because it matches expectations, but because it meets the need. Shelter, quiet, space enough to rest. He guides Mary carefully, attentive to her comfort, mindful of each step. Mary enters without hesitation. She does not measure the space against what might have been. She receives it as it is. The humility of the setting does not diminish her peace. It deepens it. There is something fitting here, something aligned with the quiet unfolding of events. The animals remain calm. Their presence does not disturb the stillness. Their breathing is slow and steady, a gentle reminder of shared warmth and life. The stable feels protected, not exposed, enclosed without being confined. A lamp is lit softly, its glow small but sufficient. Light touches the rough surfaces, revealing texture rather than refinement. Shadows settle gently, unmoving. The atmosphere is neither empty nor crowded. It is balanced. The bustling energy of the town fades into the background. Sounds become distant murmurs, softened by walls and space. Within the stable, the air feels still. The quiet certainty that guided them here remains present, almost tangible. This refuge was not sought for its comfort or appearance. It was accepted for its availability and peace. In this unexpected place, there is no pressure, no demand to perform or conform, only the simple permission to rest. Mary settles slowly, supported and attentive to her body. The weariness does not overwhelm her. It finds a place to rest. Joseph remains nearby, watchful but relaxed, his task fulfilled for the moment. The stable becomes more than shelter. It becomes a haven precisely because it asks nothing. It does not crowd. It does not judge. It simply receives. In this quiet refuge, removed from the fullness of the inns, the journey pauses without ending. The night continues to hold them, gently and completely, within the embrace of a place the world barely notices, yet provides exactly what is needed. The stillness within the stable deepens, settling into a gentle, protective quiet. The space does not feel empty. It feels held. Walls and roof enclose them without pressure, creating a sense of safety that allows the body to release what it has been carrying. Picture the soft glow of the lamp, the gentle breaths of the animals, a sanctuary far from the world's demands. The lamp's light is warm and steady. It does not flicker wildly or strain against the darkness. It rests within it, illuminating only what is necessary. The glow softens the rough edges of the space, turning simple materials into something calm and welcoming. Shadows stretch slowly along the walls, unmoving, content to remain where they are. Straw lies scattered across the ground, its scent earthy and familiar. It cushions each movement, quieting footsteps and settling sound. Nothing echoes sharply here. Every noise is absorbed, softened, returned to silence. The animals breathe slowly, their presence calm and unassuming. There is no restlessness in them. They shift occasionally, adjusting their weight, releasing a quiet exhale that blends seamlessly into the stillness. Their warmth fills the space, rising gently into the cool air, creating a balance that comforts rather than overwhelms. Mary feels this warmth immediately. It reaches her without effort, easing the tension left from travel. The simplicity of the setting asks nothing of her. She does not need to remain alert or guarded. She can simply exist within the moment. Joseph notices the same calm settle over the space. His shoulders relax. His breathing deepens. The task of seeking shelter is complete, and this humble place offers more than he expected. It offers peace. There are no demands here, no expectations to meet, no voices pressing in. The stable stands apart from the noise of the town, removed from crowded rooms and constant movement. Time slows, no longer measured by urgency. The lamp becomes a quiet center within the space. Its light does not reach far, but it reaches enough. It touches Mary's face gently, highlights the texture of wood and stone, reveals the calm posture of the animals. Everything it reveals appears softened, less sharp, less demanding. Mary's hands rest comfortably. Her breathing finds a slow rhythm, matching the quiet life around her. The simplicity of the setting mirrors the simplicity of her trust. Nothing here contradicts the path she has followed. Everything feels appropriate, even tender. The animals remain unconcerned, accepting the presence of their visitors without agitation. They are accustomed to shared space, to nights spent together under shelter. Their calm presence reinforces the sense of belonging. This place does not feel borrowed. It feels offered. Joseph remains attentive but unstrained. He does not feel the need to stand guard or prepare for interruption. The stable holds its own quiet boundary, separating them from the outside world without isolating them from care. The sounds of Bethlehem are now distant, nearly indistinguishable. The murmur of the town fades into a background hush, barely noticeable. Within the stable, each sound has purpose and restraint. Breath, soft movement, the faint sound of the lamp. This sanctuary does not distract. It invites inward attention. Thoughts settle. Awareness turns toward what is present rather than what is lacking. The absence of luxury becomes a gift. Without excess, the essential becomes clear. Mary rests within this simplicity without judgment. She does not compare this place to what might have been. She receives it fully, allowing its quiet to meet her where she is. The warmth of the space mirrors the warmth of her faith. Joseph adjusts a small detail, ensuring comfort, then allows himself to pause. His role shifts from seeking and protecting to simply being present. The sanctuary allows this transition naturally. The air feels still but not stagnant. It moves gently, warmed by breath and lamp light. Each inhale feels grounding. Each exhale releases what remains of tension. This place, far from the world's demands, holds them in quiet acceptance. It does not rush them. It does not require explanation. It offers rest without conditions. The soft glow continues, steady and reassuring. The animals remain calm. The night remains kind. Within this simple sanctuary, everything aligns into a peaceful harmony that sustains without effort and comforts without words. The quiet within the stable grows deeper, settling into a stillness that feels intentional, almost attentive. It is not an absence of sound, but a gathering of it, as though every small noise has chosen to pause together. Breath becomes softer. Movement slows until it nearly disappears. A hush falls over the stable, pregnant with expectation, a profound stillness before the miracle. This hush is not heavy. It is gentle and full, like the moment just before dawn when the world waits without tension. The air seems to hold itself carefully, neither advancing nor retreating. Even the lamp's flame appears steadier now, its light calm and unwavering. Mary senses the change immediately, not as urgency, not as alarm, but as awareness. Something within her recognizes this stillness as meaningful. She does not analyze it or name it. She simply allows it to be. Her body remains relaxed, her breathing slow, yet her attention becomes quietly focused. Joseph notices it too, though in a different way. He becomes more still, less from effort and more from instinct. He does not move to adjust anything. There is nothing to correct. Everything feels settled, aligned, complete in its readiness. The animals respond without understanding, yet perfectly in tune. They grow quieter, their movements fewer. Their breathing continues, slow and steady, adding to the sense of calm rather than interrupting it. Their warmth remains constant, grounding the space in gentle life. The stable itself feels transformed, though nothing has changed in form. Walls remain rough. The floor remains simple. Yet the atmosphere feels fuller, as if the space is holding more than what can be seen. This fullness does not crowd. It reassures. Time seems to stretch, not dragging, but opening. Moments expand, allowing awareness to rest within them. There is no sense of waiting that brings impatience. This anticipation is peaceful, trusting that what is meant to unfold will do so naturally. Mary's thoughts grow quieter, settling into a deep inner stillness. She does not rehearse what lies ahead. She does not search for signs. Her faith rests, confident and unstrained. She feels supported, surrounded, accompanied by a presence that does not intrude. Her body responds with calm acceptance. Each breath feels sufficient. Each moment feels complete. The hush invites her to remain exactly where she is, without adjustment, without preparation beyond what has already been given. Joseph remains near, attentive without tension. He senses that action is not required. His role is presence, steady and unobtrusive. He trusts the stillness, allowing it to guide him into quiet watchfulness rather than activity. The lamp's glow seems softer still, though its brightness has not changed. Light and shadow balance perfectly, neither dominating the other. The space feels neither dim nor bright. It feels right. Outside, the night continues, unaware yet aligned. Stars remain steady. The town rests. Life pauses in its own way, though no one beyond the stable knows why. This moment does not need witness. It exists fully within itself. The silence carries depth rather than emptiness. It feels layered, rich with meaning that does not need words. It invites listening without expectation. It holds promise without pressure. Mary remains calm within this expectancy. Her faith does not surge. It settles. She is not overwhelmed by significance. She is grounded within it. The stillness feels familiar, as though it has been approaching gently for a long time. Joseph's breathing slows further, matching the quiet rhythm of the space. He feels no fear, no uncertainty, only a steady assurance that this moment is held within care greater than his own. The animals remain peaceful, their presence anchoring the sacred within the ordinary. Nothing here feels separate from daily life, yet everything feels touched by something more. This hush does not signal an ending or a beginning. It simply exists, full and attentive. A profound stillness rests within the stable, holding anticipation gently, patiently, completely, without need for announcement or explanation. The hush remains, deep and attentive, and within it something changes so gently that it almost goes unnoticed at first. There is no sound to mark the moment, no sudden movement, no interruption to the stillness that has gathered so carefully. Yet the atmosphere itself seems to soften, as if yielding to something new. And then, in the quietest of moments, a new light entered the world, bringing with it an unexplainable peace. This light is not bright in the way lamps or stars are bright. It does not cast sharp shadows or demand attention. It feels warmer than sight, sensed before it is seen. The space within the stable seems to receive it naturally, as though it has been waiting, prepared, shaped for this exact arrival. Mary remains calm, her presence grounded and centered. Nothing about this moment feels rushed or overwhelming. Pain does not dominate the space. Fear does not intrude. There is only focus, quiet endurance, and trust unfolding in perfect measure. Her breathing remains steady, her attention inward, fully present. Joseph stays close, his awareness gentle and steady. He does not speak. There are no words that could improve what is happening. His role is witness and care, and he fulfills it with quiet devotion. He senses the weight of the moment without feeling burdened by it. The animals remain still, as though they too recognize the significance without understanding it. Their warmth surrounds the space, their breathing slow and even. The ordinary rhythms of life continue, anchoring the sacred within familiarity. The world beyond the stable feels paused, not stopped, but hushed, as if creation itself has leaned inward. There is a sense that everything is listening, though nothing is said. Time stretches gently, holding the moment without pressing it onward. The birth itself is tender and unannounced. No cry breaks the silence at first. No sudden sound marks the transition. Instead, there is a sense of completion, of arrival that settles rather than startles. A presence is now among them that was not there before, though it feels immediately familiar. The light grows slightly clearer now, not brighter, but more defined. It seems to gather around the manger, illuminating the simplest objects with quiet reverence. Straw catches the glow softly. Wood appears warmer. Even shadow feels gentle. Mary cradles the child with natural grace, her movements unhurried and sure. There is no astonishment that unsettles her, only awe that remains calm and contained. She looks upon the newborn not with fear or disbelief, but with recognition, as though she has known this moment long before it arrived. The child rests quietly, wrapped in simple cloths, surrounded by warmth and stillness. There is nothing outwardly remarkable in form, no crown, no display. Yet the peace that accompanies this small life is unmistakable. It spreads gently, touching everything within reach. Joseph approaches slowly, his steps careful, reverent. He looks upon the child with wonder that does not need expression. His heart feels full, steady, anchored by a sense of purpose fulfilled. The uncertainty of the journey fades into background memory. What remains is presence. The manger, meant for feeding animals, becomes a resting place of quiet dignity. Its rough edges do not detract from the moment. They enhance it. The simplicity of the setting frames the gentleness of what has arrived. The peace that fills the space does not surge or overwhelm. It radiates softly, like warmth from a hearth, spreading evenly, touching without force. It settles into the air, into breath, into awareness. It asks nothing. It offers rest. Mary adjusts the cloths with care, her hands steady. Each movement is deliberate but unstrained. She feels no rush to do more, no anxiety about what comes next. This moment is complete in itself. She allows it to be enough. Joseph remains nearby, his posture relaxed, his attention focused yet calm. He feels a deep sense of responsibility, but it does not weigh him down. It steadies him. The peace present does not remove the seriousness of the moment. It supports it. The animals remain quiet, their presence grounding. Their warmth adds to the sense of shelter, of enclosure. Life continues around the child in its most basic form, breath and warmth and stillness intertwined. The world outside remains unaware, yet not untouched. Though no sound travels beyond the stable, something has shifted. The night sky holds its stars as it always has, yet the space between them feels fuller. The earth rests beneath them, unchanged yet renewed. This peace does not depend on recognition. It does not require acknowledgement to exist. It is complete within itself, grounded in the simple reality of presence. The child breathes softly, each breath a continuation of the calm that has filled the night. Mary's thoughts remain clear and gentle. She does not rush to interpret or explain. She rests within the knowing that this moment is sacred, not because of spectacle, but because of love made tangible. Her heart remains open, receptive, calm. Joseph's awareness expands quietly. He senses the weight of history without feeling overwhelmed by it. The past and future seem to rest lightly upon this present moment, not pressing, not intruding. Everything feels aligned. The lamp continues to glow, unchanged, yet its light feels different now. It seems to participate in the peace rather than simply illuminate. Shadows remain soft, respectful, unmoving. The child shifts slightly, a small movement that draws attention without breaking the calm. The sound is minimal, barely audible, yet it anchors the moment firmly in reality. This is not an idea or symbol. This is life, present and real. The peace deepens further, not expanding outward dramatically, but settling inward. It touches thought, memory, sensation. It invites stillness without demanding it. It allows presence without effort. Mary rests her gaze upon the child, her expression serene. There is no trace of fear, no urgency, only care and attentiveness shaped by love. She remains fully present, unburdened by expectation. Joseph watches quietly, his breathing slow, his posture steady. He feels gratitude without needing to name it. The journey that brought them here no longer feels long or difficult. It feels purposeful, complete in this moment. The manger holds its quiet role without protest. The stable remains unchanged in structure, yet transformed in meaning. The ordinary has become sacred without ceasing to be ordinary. Outside, the night remains calm. No trumpet sounds. No crowd gathers. The world holds its breath, not in anticipation of spectacle, but in quiet recognition of peace entering where it was most needed. This peace does not erase hardship. It does not deny struggle. It exists alongside them, offering rest rather than escape. It promises presence rather than protection from all difficulty. The child breathes, steady and calm. Each breath seems to reinforce the stillness rather than disturb it. Life unfolds gently, without demand. Mary and Joseph remain within this peace, not as observers, but as participants. They do not stand apart from it. They are held within it, supported by it, shaped by it. The stable feels complete. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be removed. The moment holds itself with quiet sufficiency. The world beyond continues its slow turning, unaware yet affected. Though no announcement has been made, something essential has entered. Not loudly, not forcefully, but gently, carrying peace that does not fade with silence. The manger rests at the center of this calm, not as a throne, but as a place of rest. The child lies quietly, unassuming, yet surrounded by a peace that reaches beyond walls, beyond night, beyond time, settling into the very fabric of the world without demand or declaration. The calm that fills the stable does not break or shift. It deepens, settling more fully into every corner of the space, as if the moment itself has chosen to linger. Nothing presses forward. Nothing retreats. Everything simply remains, attentive and gentle. No fanfare, no grand pronouncements, just the gentle arrival of a divine child, wrapped in humble cloths. There are no raised voices to mark this arrival. No sudden light that demands notice. The child comes into the world quietly, as naturally as breath, as softly as a thought forming in stillness. The silence does not feel empty. It feels complete, as though nothing more is required to honor this moment. Mary's movements are slow and careful, guided by instinct rather than urgency. She wraps the child with steady hands, each fold of cloth placed with tenderness and purpose. The fabric is simple, unadorned, chosen not for beauty but for comfort. It rests against the child like a promise of warmth and care. The act itself is unhurried. There is no sense that time is being measured or that anything must be done quickly. Each motion unfolds at its own pace, as though the night itself has granted permission for slowness. Mary's breathing remains deep and even, her focus entirely present. Joseph watches quietly, his attention fixed on the small life now resting before him. His expression holds reverence, not astonishment. He does not expect signs or declarations. What he sees is enough. The simplicity of the moment speaks more deeply than any words could. The child lies peacefully, eyes closed, breathing soft and steady. There is no cry that breaks the stillness. The arrival feels like a continuation rather than an interruption. Life flows forward without disturbance, as though this presence has always belonged here. The manger receives the child without ceremony. Rough wood and clean straw offer support, forming a resting place that is humble yet sufficient. There is no discomfort here, only simplicity shaped into care. The manger does not become something else. It remains what it is, and that is enough. Mary lowers the child gently, her movements precise and loving. Her gaze does not waver. She looks upon the child with quiet devotion, her heart full yet calm. There is no overwhelm, no sense of being overtaken by the significance of what has occurred. She rests within it naturally. Joseph steps closer, careful not to disturb the peace. He adjusts the cloth slightly, ensuring warmth without fuss. His actions are thoughtful, restrained, guided by a desire to protect without imposing. He understands intuitively that gentleness is required here. The animals remain calm, their presence steady and reassuring. They do not shy away or grow restless. Their warmth continues to fill the space, their slow breathing adding to the rhythm of stillness. Life surrounds the child without crowding. The lamp continues to glow softly, its light unchanged yet somehow more meaningful. It illuminates the child's small form without exaggeration. Nothing is highlighted dramatically. Everything is revealed quietly, respectfully. There is no announcement made beyond this space. No one outside the stable hears a sound or sees a sign. The town continues to rest, unaware of what has occurred. Yet the absence of witnesses does not diminish the moment. It strengthens it. This arrival does not depend on recognition. The peace that accompanies the child remains steady. It does not surge outward dramatically. It does not demand attention. It settles gently, like warmth spreading through a room, unnoticed until it is felt everywhere. Mary remains close, her posture relaxed. She does not feel the need to hold the child constantly or to retreat. She remains attentive, responsive, guided by a deep sense of connection. Her care is instinctive, shaped by love rather than instruction. Joseph remains near as well, his presence quiet and supportive. He does not feel the need to speak. Words feel unnecessary here. The silence carries more meaning than sound could. The child stirs slightly, a small movement that draws gentle attention. It does not disrupt the calm. It confirms life, real and present. The sound of breathing continues, soft and rhythmic, anchoring the sacred within the ordinary. The stable feels smaller now, not in space, but in focus. Attention centers naturally on the manger, not because it demands it, but because everything else seems to rest quietly around it. The walls hold their stillness. The air remains calm. Mary adjusts her position slightly, ensuring comfort. Her movements remain slow, careful, mindful. There is no rush to do more than what is needed. Each action is complete in itself. Joseph watches the child again, his expression steady. He feels a sense of responsibility settle within him, not as weight, but as purpose. The uncertainty of earlier moments fades. What remains is clarity, calm, and resolve shaped by love. The cloths remain simple, their texture soft against the child's skin. They do not signify wealth or status. They signify care. Their humility reflects the nature of the arrival itself. Nothing here seeks attention. Everything here serves. The peace deepens further, not expanding outward, but sinking inward. It touches thought and sensation alike. It quiets the mind without effort. It invites rest without command. Mary's thoughts remain clear and grounded. She does not rush ahead to imagine what lies beyond this moment. She remains here, fully present, allowing the simplicity of now to be enough. Her faith feels complete in this stillness. Joseph remains attentive but relaxed. He feels no need to guard against interruption. The stable feels protected without defense. The quiet certainty that guided them here continues to hold. The child's presence feels gentle rather than imposing. There is no sense of power asserted outwardly. The significance of this life does not announce itself through force. It rests quietly, content to be present. The animals shift slightly, then settle again. Their movements are slow, unhurried. Nothing startles. Nothing disrupts. The night continues to hold its calm. The lamp's light touches the child's face softly, revealing peaceful features without emphasis. There is no dramatic contrast, no sharp shadow. Everything appears balanced, calm, complete. Mary's hand rests nearby, not gripping, not withdrawing. Her touch is available, reassuring, gentle. She does not feel the need to prove her care. It is evident in her presence. Joseph adjusts his stance slightly, finding ease. He remains close without crowding. His attention remains steady, his posture open. The world beyond the stable continues unchanged. No sound carries outward. No sign marks the moment. Yet something essential has entered quietly, settling into the fabric of existence without disruption. This arrival does not erase difficulty or promise immediate ease. It does not deny hardship. It offers something deeper: presence, peace, gentleness that remains even when circumstances are simple or strained. The child breathes steadily, each breath reinforcing the calm. Life continues softly, without urgency. The moment holds itself without need for reinforcement. Mary remains calm, her awareness anchored. She does not feel overwhelmed by responsibility or meaning. She feels connected, supported, held within care greater than herself. Joseph remains quiet, his thoughts settled. He does not question or analyze. He rests within trust. The manger remains simple, its purpose fulfilled without transformation. It does not become ornate. It does not change form. It serves quietly, perfectly. The stable remains unchanged in structure, yet filled with peace that feels complete. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be removed. The tender arrival remains unannounced, uncelebrated by the world, yet fully realized within this small space. The divine enters not with noise, but with breath, not with proclamation, but with presence. The calm holds. The peace remains. The child rests quietly, wrapped in humble cloths, surrounded by stillness that does not demand attention, yet carries meaning deeper than words, settling gently into the night without disturbance. The calm spreads without effort, as if it has always been waiting for this moment to reveal itself. It does not rush or press forward. It simply exists, filling the small space of the stable, and then extending beyond it, like a slow and steady breath taken by the earth itself. The air seems softer now, gentler as it moves, carrying a warmth that has nothing to do with fire or shelter. It is the warmth of presence, quiet and reassuring, settling into every corner without asking permission. The child rests in the manger, not as a ruler demanding attention, but as a peaceful center around which everything else finds its place. The rough wood beneath the cloths no longer feels harsh. It feels chosen, sanctified by stillness. The straw beneath lies undisturbed, as though it understands the importance of remaining exactly as it is. Even the shadows along the walls seem to pause, no longer shifting or stretching, content to remain where they fall. Mary sits close, her posture relaxed yet attentive, her body instinctively curved in protection. Her breathing is slow and even, matching the gentle rise and fall of the tiny chest before her. There is no fear in her eyes now, no lingering strain from the long road or the labor that has passed. What remains is a deep, settling peace, one that sinks beyond thought and rests in the heart. Her hands, still and warm, rest lightly near the child, not gripping, not anxious, simply present. Joseph stands nearby, his strength quiet and unspoken. The weight he has carried for so long eases without ceremony. His shoulders lower, his jaw unclenches, and the watchfulness that once filled his gaze softens into calm assurance. He does not need to act or decide or protect in this moment. The peace surrounding the manger holds everything, including him. He feels it settle within his chest, steady and grounding, like firm earth beneath tired feet. The animals sense it too. The donkey lowers its head and exhales slowly, its breath warm in the cool air. The ox shifts only slightly, then grows still, eyes half closed. There is no restlessness, no stamping or snorting. Their presence becomes part of the quiet, a living stillness that surrounds the child without crowding him. Their gentle warmth adds to the sense of shelter, as though creation itself has leaned inward to keep watch. Outside the stable, the night remains unchanged in appearance, yet something subtle has transformed. The stars shine with the same distant light, but the space between them feels fuller, more alive. The darkness is no longer empty. It holds a promise, though it does not announce it. The hills rest in silence, and the paths that wind toward the town seem to wait, as if aware that something within the world has shifted, something that will touch even the most forgotten places in time. The calm does not demand recognition. It does not insist on understanding. It simply invites rest. It wraps itself around every anxious thought and gently loosens its grip. Worries that once felt sharp and urgent now soften at the edges, losing their weight. Questions that once pressed for answers drift into the background, no longer needing resolution. The presence at the manger offers no explanations, yet nothing feels lacking. The child breathes, slow and steady, each breath a quiet affirmation of life. With every gentle rise of his chest, the peace seems to deepen, spreading outward in unseen waves. It touches the rough walls of the stable and passes through them as though they were not there. It moves across the fields and paths, into the town where doors are closed and lamps are dimming. It reaches sleeping hearts, easing dreams, quieting fears even before they are named. This calm is not fragile. It does not depend on silence alone, nor is it threatened by the noise of the world beyond the stable. It exists beneath all sound, steady and unshaken. Even the distant murmur of the town cannot disturb it. Even the knowledge of hardship beyond this night does not weaken it. The peace is rooted deeper than circumstance, deeper than understanding. Within the stable, time feels different. Moments stretch gently, unmeasured. There is no urgency to move forward or to look ahead. The present feels complete, whole in itself. The simple act of being here, of breathing and resting and watching, feels enough. The child does not hurry the world. His presence invites it to slow, to remember a rhythm older and truer than fear. Mary's thoughts drift, not toward the future, but toward a quiet gratitude that has no words. She feels it in her chest, a fullness that brings no pressure. The path that led here, with all its uncertainty, now feels held within a greater purpose, one that does not overwhelm but gently supports. She does not need to grasp it fully. It is enough to feel its steadiness. Joseph senses the same assurance, though he names it differently within himself. It feels like trust, firm and calm, settling into place. The responsibility he carries does not vanish, but it becomes lighter, balanced by a peace that promises presence rather than ease. He understands without reasoning that this calm will remain, not always felt, perhaps, but always available. The lamp continues to glow softly, its light steady and warm. It flickers only slightly, as if aware of the stillness it illuminates. The light touches the child's face, gentle and kind, revealing features small and delicate. There is no grandeur in the sight, yet there is a depth that invites quiet awe. Not an awe that overwhelms, but one that comforts, like standing beneath a wide sky and feeling safely held. The peace reaches outward, beyond the stable, beyond the night. It moves into memories and hopes, into the hidden places of the human heart where longing and weariness reside. It offers no demands, only rest, a rest that does not end responsibility, but renews strength, a rest that does not erase sorrow, but holds it gently, promising that it is not alone. Even the earth beneath the stable seems to settle, as though listening. The stones and soil rest in quiet agreement, bearing witness without words. The air itself hums softly, not with sound, but with presence, a presence that reassures without explanation, that comforts without condition. The manger becomes a still point, a center of calm around which the unseen currents of the world gently turn. From this small, humble place, peace radiates, unhurried and unstoppable. It does not rush to conquer or convince. It simply remains, inviting every weary soul, every restless heart, to draw near and rest in its quiet embrace. The calm that fills the stable lingers, soft and encompassing, settling deeper into every corner of the space. Each breath taken in the gentle night is shared with the quiet presence of the child, the warmth of Mary and Joseph, and the steady rhythm of the animals. The peace that has entered here does not fade. It grows not in force but in depth, weaving itself into the very fabric of the night, touching the heart and mind with a quiet insistence that does not demand attention but gently invites it. Let this ancient story be your modern lullaby, a reminder of the peace that transcends time. The air feels thick with the weight of presence without pressing upon it. It moves like a soft current, flowing over the shoulders of Mary and Joseph, brushing past the child in the manger, and filling the gaps between the stable walls with gentle reassurance. The lamp's glow bathes everything in warmth, highlighting the texture of the straw, the smoothness of the child's tiny hands, the worn yet steady strength of Joseph's hands. The light does not compete with the peace. It becomes a part of it, an expression of it, a gentle affirmation that this place is held in quiet sanctity. Mary's thoughts drift slowly, unhurried, weaving between gratitude and awe. She does not attempt to understand everything, nor does she feel the need to anticipate what must come. She rests fully in the simplicity of this night, in the unspoken assurance that all is as it should be. Her gaze softens on the child, and with each inhale, she feels the rhythm of life itself echo through the stable, through the town beyond, and through the invisible currents of the world. There is no rush here, no urgency. Every breath stretches and settles, a soft lullaby of presence that invites reflection without effort. Joseph, nearby, allows the quiet to fill him as well. His attention is steady, not strained by worry or expectation. Each heartbeat resonates with the gentle pattern of the child's breathing, and he feels an enduring strength in simply being present. No decisions demand immediate action. No plans need urgent formation. He is rooted here, grounded in the awareness that presence itself is protection, and care itself is love manifested. The calm around the manger deepens his sense of purpose, not as a burden, but as a steady, enduring truth that accompanies him through every motion, every gesture, every breath taken beside the child. The animals, slow and steady, add to this lullaby of life. The donkey exhales a warm, measured breath that seems to melt into the air, blending with the hum of the stillness around it. The ox shifts slightly, then rests again, steady and patient, its body radiating quiet warmth. Each small sound, each tiny movement, is absorbed into the calm, a subtle rhythm that emphasizes the enduring hush. Nothing disturbs the steady pulse of this night. Even the distant sounds of Bethlehem are softened to a faint murmur, almost imperceptible, almost imagined. The child, small and unassuming, embodies the deepest stillness. His eyes remain closed in perfect trust. His tiny hands rest lightly against his chest, and every soft breath seems to carry the unspoken promise of peace. The arrival of this life does not command attention with spectacle, but invites presence with gentle insistence. The quiet of the stable itself becomes an enduring lullaby, a sanctuary of reflection, a place where the soul can pause and recognize its own need for rest, for reassurance, for the simple comfort of a night held in care and love. This story, ancient yet alive, offers a rhythm that transcends time. Its calm is not bound by the hours of the night or the span of centuries. It flows through moments, through generations, reaching the present as naturally as it did centuries ago. Its lullaby is timeless, not because it repeats itself identically, but because the essence of peace, of quiet presence, of trust in something greater than oneself, is eternal. Each detail, each gesture, each gentle breath contributes to the fullness of this calm. Each is a note in a lullaby that stretches beyond the confines of the stable, beyond the small town, beyond the quiet hills, into the hearts of all who hear, all who imagine, all who reflect. Mary adjusts the cloths around the child once more, not from necessity, but from a natural instinct to nurture. Her fingers move slowly, each motion deliberate yet effortless. The simple texture of the cloth against the child's soft skin, the faint warmth radiating from their bodies, and the gentle sway of her hands form a rhythm of care that seems to echo with something beyond understanding. Joseph observes silently, his eyes reflecting a soft reverence, feeling the magnitude of the moment without being weighed down by it. The air in the stable continues to hum with life. It carries the faint sense of straw, of earth, of warm skin, and even in its simplicity, the aroma becomes part of the lullaby. Every inhalation is a small affirmation, grounding those present in the moment, in the awareness that life, in its simplest forms, contains depth beyond comprehension. The night remains gentle outside, and within, the stillness holds all things. Even time feels suspended. There is no rush toward dawn. There is no pressing demand from the world beyond. Only the eternal calm, unfolding softly, holding everything in its embrace. Mary's gaze shifts from the child to Joseph, to the animals, to the walls of the stable. She notices each detail, each subtle texture, without judgment or distraction. The roughness of the wood, the unevenness of the straw, the soft curves of the lamp's glow, all harmonize with the rhythm of life that fills the night. Each detail contributes to the whole, forming a tapestry of quiet care and gentle presence. Nothing feels out of place. Nothing demands alteration. The ordinary and the sacred coexist seamlessly, teaching a subtle lesson that peace does not require grandeur. It requires awareness and presence. Joseph's mind drifts in tandem with the calm. He thinks not of what is to come, nor of the journey behind, nor even of the responsibilities ahead. Instead, he rests in this moment fully, aware of the profound simplicity of being near the child. Each breath he takes is slow, measured, deliberate. Each heartbeat resonates with the silent lullaby of life that fills the stable. His presence itself contributes to the peace, forming a quiet circle of care around the child, reinforcing the stability and safety that saturates the space. The night seems to deepen in response. Even the stars beyond the stable, fixed and distant, appear to lean closer, their light softer, less rigid, more compassionate. The hills and valleys surrounding the town rest in shadows that are not frightening but protective. The cool night air carries a faint hum, imperceptible to ears, yet tangible in the heart. It is the resonance of peace, of life in its most gentle form, weaving itself into the consciousness of all present. The child stirs gently, a tiny sigh of breath, a subtle movement of limbs. Each small motion is absorbed into the stillness rather than disturbing it. The subtle sound of this life, so fragile yet perfect, becomes part of the lullaby, adding texture, depth, and intimacy to the serene atmosphere. It reminds Mary and Joseph, and the animals around, that life itself is both delicate and enduring, a quiet miracle unfolding with patience and care. Every element of the stable, the lamp, the straw, the wooden walls, the animals, the air itself, seems to participate in the lullaby. Even the silence beyond, distant and hushed, resonates in harmony with the quiet within. Nothing rushes. Nothing demands attention. All is held in a tender equilibrium that invites contemplation, reflection, and rest. Mary leans slightly closer, her hand brushing the soft warmth of the child's skin. She does not disturb. She does not alter. She simply rests there, sharing presence, sharing calm, sharing life. Joseph's gaze meets hers briefly, a silent acknowledgment of the magnitude of this moment. No words are needed. The understanding is mutual, quiet, profound. The peace of the stable begins to extend subtly beyond its walls, touching the imagination and the memory of the listener, the dreamer, the one who allows the mind to wander through this night. Even in thought, the calm settles, inviting release from the strains of waking life. The ancient story, told gently, unfolds as a lullaby, not in repetition, but in presence, carrying with it a reassurance that transcends time, space, and circumstance. Each breath drawn in reflection, each quiet moment of mindfulness, allows the calm to deepen further. It reaches into the corners of the mind where restlessness resides, softening anxiety without effort. It soothes memory without erasing it. It offers hope not in urgency, but in gentle continuity. The lullaby is not a song, not a melody in the conventional sense, but a rhythm of life, a cadence of stillness and awareness, as enduring and essential as the night itself. The lamp's flame flickers once, imperceptibly, as if acknowledging the presence of something greater than light. Shadows bend slightly, not in fear or movement, but in recognition. Even the walls of the stable seem to breathe slowly, containing, protecting, and offering comfort. The very air hums with peace, carrying the lullaby outward invisibly, connecting heart to heart, moment to moment, generation to generation. Mary's gaze softens again, returning to the child. She does not feel the weight of responsibility in the way it once pressed upon her. She feels presence, assurance, and love that do not falter. The lullaby continues in her mind and body, echoing in rhythm with her breathing, matching the subtle movements of the child, resonating with Joseph's quiet steadiness, blending with the warm, soft breaths of the animals nearby. Joseph's hand rests lightly upon his own knee, grounded, steady. He senses the continuity of life in the child, in the night, in the quiet town beyond. He feels the connection of all things, the gentle sway of the earth, the unbroken rhythm of stars in the heavens, the enduring pulse of human hope, and he allows it to settle into him. No need for words or actions. Presence itself is enough, and the lullaby of the night enfolds him fully. The child sighs, tiny movements blending with the rhythm of the stable. Each breath seems to extend the calm outward, touching even the smallest particle of air, every hidden corner of the room, every silent heartbeat of the town beyond. The lullaby of presence continues, imperceptibly yet undeniably, a thread that binds all into gentle coherence. Time itself feels less important. The minutes stretch, the hours fold softly upon themselves, but there is no rush, no concern. Each moment is complete, held fully, without need for repetition or future planning. The calm of the night does not dissipate. It deepens. It offers an invitation to rest, reflection, and surrender, not as a cessation of life, but as a quiet participation in its enduring rhythm. The stable becomes a sanctuary not just in space, but in consciousness. Walls, straw, lamp, animals, Mary, Joseph, and child together form a circle of presence that invites reflection. Every inhalation brings understanding. Every exhalation releases tension. The lullaby is woven in silence, in touch, in warmth, in rhythm, in breath. It is a story that does not need retelling to continue to exist. It is a melody without sound, a song of life without urgency, a reminder that peace, presence, and love endure. Mary, Joseph, the child, the animals, the lamp, the straw, the air itself, all breathe in harmony, forming a subtle, enduring chorus. There is no need for applause, no need for recognition. The lullaby exists in its own right, within its own calm, infinite in reach, timeless in essence. It holds within it the gentle assurance that even in a world of uncertainty, this peace remains accessible, unshakable, and fully alive for anyone who allows themselves to enter into it with openness and trust. The night continues, unchanged yet transformed. The stars hold their steady glow, the hills rest in shadow, the distant town sleeps, and the stable contains this enduring lullaby. Presence, stillness, and calm intertwine, creating a sanctuary that invites reflection, gentle awareness, and rest. Each breath, each movement, each heartbeat becomes part of the eternal rhythm, a modern echo of an ancient story, a lullaby that endures beyond time, a calm that remains in the air, in the heart, and in the soul. The quiet of the stable seems to expand, filling every space with a gentle presence that is at once grounding and uplifting. It is not loud or commanding, yet it has a weight that settles into the heart, a reassuring sense that everything is as it should be. The light from the lamp touches softly upon the wooden beams and the straw below, and in that soft glow, the entire scene becomes a gentle cradle of care and serenity. Allow the quiet comfort of this nativity to settle over you, guiding you to a deep and restorative sleep. Mary sits close to the child, her movements slow and deliberate, each one a whisper of devotion. Her hands rest near the child's small form, not holding too tightly, not withdrawing, but simply present. She radiates calm, a quiet strength that flows naturally from her awareness of the moment. Joseph remains nearby, a steady presence of protection and care, his posture relaxed yet attentive, reinforcing the sense of security that permeates the stable. The child rests, breathing softly, each rise and fall of the chest harmonizing with the gentle rhythm of the night. There is no need for sound beyond this, no need for fanfare. The simple presence of life, of care, of attentive love, forms a spiritual embrace that reaches outward beyond the stable walls, extending into imagination, memory, and heart. This embrace is not limited by distance or circumstance. It carries the calm and sacred assurance of the moment into the minds and souls of those who imagine it, inviting a quiet reflection and inner rest. The animals contribute to this spiritual quiet. The donkey's gentle exhalation, the ox's slow shifting, the warmth radiating from their bodies, all form part of the subtle harmony. Nothing feels intrusive. Everything belongs. Their presence adds an unspoken layer of comfort, a reminder that life, in all its simplicity, holds its own rhythm and support. The lamp's light continues to glow, gentle and unwavering. Its warmth illuminates without harshness, highlighting the textures and small details that make the stable a haven. The glow touches the child's soft features, Mary's hands, Joseph's steady gaze, and the straw underfoot, weaving all into a tapestry of care and quiet reverence. The light does not announce itself. It simply is, reinforcing the sense of calm that rests in every corner. In this moment, time itself feels softened. The rush of the world beyond is muted. The distant hum of Bethlehem is absorbed into the gentle quiet. Even the night sky, with its innumerable stars, seems to lean in, offering an invisible embrace of calm and continuity. The air itself feels different, as though it carries within it a subtle energy of rest, of healing, of gentle presence. To enter this spiritual embrace is to breathe with awareness. Inhale slowly, letting the rhythm of the night and the stable's calm flow into you. Feel the warmth of peace, the quiet assurance, the gentle steadiness. Exhale softly, releasing tension, worry, and the weight of daily concern. Each breath becomes a part of the lullaby, a thread in the quiet tapestry that surrounds the child and all who dwell near the manger. The Nativity is not only a story of past events. It is a living presence, a spiritual reality that offers comfort to those willing to receive it. It does not insist or demand. It merely invites. To allow oneself to be present here is to enter into a calm that transcends time, a rest that nurtures body, mind, and spirit alike. Mary glances down at the child once more, her face softened with peace. She does not worry about what tomorrow may bring. She does not question the challenges of the journey ahead. Here, in the stillness, everything is held. The simple act of being present with love, with awareness, with gentle care, forms a protective circle that nothing can disturb. Joseph observes quietly, letting the calm enfold him. He feels a steady strength in the stillness, a reassurance that comes not from action or control, but from presence and trust. He does not need to move, to speak, to intervene. The night itself, filled with the quiet life of the stable and the spiritual weight of the child's presence, offers guidance, comfort, and support. The child sleeps, small and serene, a tender reminder of the purity of life and the power of stillness. Each soft breath, each slight movement, contributes to the serenity, spreading outward in subtle waves. The calm is so pervasive that it seems to touch not only those present in the stable, but anyone whose mind or heart seeks quiet reflection. In this spiritual embrace, nothing must be explained, nothing must be understood. The power lies in presence itself, in the gentle assurance that peace is accessible, that rest is possible, and that care surrounds every living moment. The Nativity offers this gift quietly, unassumingly, without expectation, yet with profound depth. Allow yourself to rest within this gentle circle. Let the warmth of the stable, the presence of life, the soft glow of the lamp, the steady care of Mary and Joseph, and the serene breathing of the child weave together into a blanket of calm. Let the awareness of this moment, this timeless story, settle softly over your mind and heart. Let it guide you into stillness, into restorative calm, into the gentle rhythm of sleep that replenishes and restores. The night outside remains still, the stars shining quietly, the cool air carrying the faint scent of earth and straw. Inside, the stable holds life and peace, a sanctuary of simplicity and love. Each element, light, breath, touch, presence, forms a perfect harmony. To be present in this harmony is to experience the spiritual embrace fully, to feel the quiet comfort of the Nativity settle deeply, reassuringly, and completely. Every detail matters, yet none demands notice. The child's soft movements, the faint warmth of Mary's hand, the steady gaze of Joseph, the subtle sounds of the animals, the lamp's gentle glow, the hum of calm in the air, they all coalesce into a living lullaby. This lullaby does not end, for it is timeless. It invites the heart to rest, the mind to soften, the spirit to release its burdens and settle into serenity. Here, within this embrace, there is no rush. There is no demand. There is only the quiet presence of life unfolding in its simplest and most sacred forms. The Nativity offers a reminder that peace is not always earned, nor is it always dependent on circumstance. It is a gift of presence, of awareness, of gentle care that reaches inward, calming the mind and soothing the heart. Allow yourself to breathe with this moment. Allow the quiet comfort of this nativity to flow over you. Let it settle in your chest, your shoulders, your mind, your heart. Feel the gentle rhythm of the child's breath, the warm presence of Mary, the steady reassurance of Joseph, the soft ambient hum of life in the stable. Let it guide you naturally, slowly, into a deep and restorative sleep, carrying with it the timeless gift of peace, calm, and gentle spiritual presence. The night settles fully around the stable, a soft blanket of darkness punctuated only by the gentle glow of the lamp and the faint shimmer of stars beyond. The air is still, carrying the warmth and presence of life within. It is a moment suspended, filled with gentle assurance, where the cares of the world outside seem distant and unimportant. May your night be filled with the same divine peace that surrounded Mary, Joseph, and the newborn King. The child sleeps quietly, tiny chest rising and falling with each breath, a delicate rhythm that resonates through the stable. Every small movement, every whisper of breath, seems to harmonize with the stillness around, creating a sense of profound balance. Mary rests near him, calm and steady, her hands lightly touching the cloths that cradle his form. Her presence alone radiates a quiet, protective warmth. Joseph sits close by, his steady gaze softened with care and serenity. There is nothing more to be done in this moment. Presence itself has become the sanctuary, the act of simply being here forming a shield of peace and reassurance. The animals, too, share in the serenity. The donkey's gentle exhale and the ox's slow movements contribute to the subtle rhythm of life that surrounds the child. Their warmth and steady presence amplify the sense of security and harmony, forming an intimate circle of life that is nurturing and enduring. Even the smallest sounds are absorbed into the calm, becoming part of the lullaby that this night weaves for all who dwell within it. The lamp's light casts a soft, unwavering glow across the stable, highlighting the textures of the straw, the smoothness of the child's skin, and the steady forms of Mary and Joseph. Shadows stretch and settle, not with menace, but with a quiet grace that frames the night in gentle contours. Everything exists in harmony, each element supporting the other, contributing to the pervasive sense of divine peace. The night beyond the stable is hushed, the distant town quiet in its own slumber. The stars above shine with an unhurried brilliance, each one a small, steady witness to the sacred moment unfolding below. The cool night air flows gently, carrying the subtle sense of earth, straw, and warmth, mingling with the calm in a way that soothes and reassures. It is a night that invites reflection, a night that invites trust in the enduring presence of care, love, and guidance. In this quiet, your heart can rest. The burdens and tensions of the day ease gradually, replaced by the steady, soft assurance of presence. The lullaby of the stable, of the lamp, of the breathing child, and the gentle rhythm of life forms a pattern that nurtures the soul. You are invited to settle into it, to let it hold you gently, guiding the mind toward stillness and the body toward restful ease. Mary's gaze drifts slowly over the child, a soft smile touching her lips, reflecting the deep peace she feels. She does not need to speak, to act, to direct. The night itself has become a vessel of comfort, carrying the weight of love, protection, and calm. Joseph's presence mirrors this serenity, reinforcing the quiet strength that saturates the stable. Every heartbeat, every exhale, every small motion aligns with the enduring rhythm of life, forming an invisible embrace that reaches outward, beyond the stable walls. The calm extends subtly into the imagination and memory, into the places within where quiet is often difficult to find. It flows effortlessly, gently, wrapping around anxieties and tensions, softening their edges. The divine peace that filled the stable now touches you in the mind's eye, a gentle reminder that rest and restoration are ever present, available whenever you allow yourself to receive them. Each breath you take can echo the rhythm of the child's breathing, slow and steady, soft and life-affirming. Each exhale can release the weight of your day, leaving only the stillness that carries assurance and calm. The story of this night, the Nativity in its purest form, becomes your companion, its presence a subtle, continuous lullaby that guides thought, feeling, and spirit into a state of profound rest. The lamp flickers gently, a small motion in the quiet that reflects the enduring warmth and life within. The straw underfoot remains soft and undisturbed, the wooden beams strong yet unobtrusive, the animals patient and calm, the parents devoted and serene. Together, they form a tableau of quiet security, a spiritual landscape where presence and peace coexist without effort. The stars above continue their steady vigil. The night air remains hushed and gentle, and the quiet hum of life in the stable sustains a sense of infinite calm. You are invited to rest in this same peace, to allow it to fill your awareness and settle deeply within. The divine care that surrounded Mary, Joseph, and the newborn king is not confined to history. It is present now, waiting in the stillness, gentle and unhurried, ready to soothe the mind, quiet the heart, and ease the body into restorative rest. The child stirs slightly, a tender sign of life and warmth, reinforcing the sense that peace is alive and tangible. Every soft breath carries reassurance, every tiny motion embodies gentleness, and the presence of Mary and Joseph completes the circle of nurturing care. You, too, are encompassed within this quiet embrace, sharing in the rhythm, the warmth, the serenity. The night continues without urgency, the lamp maintains its soft glow, and the stable remains a sanctuary of life and calm. The lullaby of this scene is subtle yet pervasive, a pattern of peace that threads through every detail, every living presence, and every shadowed corner. It is not a force that demands attention, but a gentle, sustaining presence that holds all things tenderly, inviting the heart to rest fully and the spirit to settle completely. May the divine peace of this night linger in your mind, in your chest, in the quiet spaces where the soul finds comfort. Let it wrap around you like the gentle warmth of the stable, softening thoughts, steadying breath, and guiding the body into complete ease. This is a peace that does not fade, a calm that does not diminish, and a spiritual embrace that endures beyond time and place. The stable, the lamp, the child, Mary, Joseph, the animals, the soft rhythm of life, and the quiet night itself all exist together in a perfect, harmonious circle. You are invited to rest within it, to let it fill every part of your being, and to carry with you the assurance that the same divine peace that blessed the first night continues to bless every heart that receives it, tenderly and wholly.